Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to an introductory session on research. I am Afshan Khattak, as most of you know, and I would like to dedicate this session to our WhatsApp group by Dr. Hashmi, which is Let's Make Nipping Buds Blooming Flowers. It's a group that gives a lot of hope to many young medics in Pakistan. And I have learned so much from that group. And I have come across such good friends and such brilliant students through that group. So really, my thank you to Dr. Hashmi. And then, of course, my thank you to everyone who is attending and who is going to be listening to this session. So basically, I just want to say two things before we start. I'm going to go to a PowerPoint session. Number one, and I already said that in an audio note, that research is a habit. As medics, we say medical research, we have to learn it, we have to attend a course, we have to read a book about it. Of course, all of that is important. But remember this, from today onwards, research is a habit. And you need to develop habits. You need to work on your habits. In order to acquire a good habit, you need a lot of discipline. So ये बात आपने याद रखनी है कि research is a subject, but more than that, research is a habit. And it's a lifelong habit. One. Second thing, if anybody has any questions, make sure you type them in the chat box. I would like to keep a record of all the questions that I get here, not because, inshallah, I will try not to miss any question. But if a question is missed or if it is inadequately answered, I want to have a full record of what the participants were thinking and what they were asking. So that's all that I have today. And I welcome you to the session. Let me just go to a short PowerPoint presentation. Just like the topic was 10 do's and 10 don'ts of research. And then we'll open the question answer session, inshallah. Let me just make it full screen here. Okay, somebody taught me last time how to make it full screen and I've forgotten again. Let me just try to make it full screen. Slideshow. All right. Let me just, my image. So basically the topic today is starting my research journey. And then I'm going to give you 10 simple things that you must do and 10 simple things that you must never do. If you want to be a researcher and if you want to work in the field and if you want to be known as a researcher. I'm Afshan Khattak. And yeah, my introduction includes my degree that I trained in pediatrics from United States. I was in Michigan. Currently, I am working as the director of an academic or an educational initiative called SPIRE, which is Social Action for Progressive Innovation, Research, and Education. It's an academic consultancy and it is registered. So we are working with some institutions and some individuals, but whatever you are getting today is a free service, is a free of charge service by SPIRE. All right. So to do things, number one, what is the first thing that we must absolutely do if we are interested in research? If we want to be a researcher, is ask questions. Doing this much is, I know that if there was one session for one thing, and the only thing that I could teach you was to ask questions. As soon as we stop asking questions, there is no improvement, there is no thinking, there is no design, nothing works until and unless we ask questions. Now, how to ask questions is something that you will learn only by asking questions. You know, tomorrow when you go to your department or when you go to your ward or when you go to, maybe to your hostel, ask questions, write questions. See, I always have these cards with me and I write all the time. That is how I have come at a stage where I'm able to maybe mentor you, maybe I'm able to guide you. Allah has enabled me to help people do research because that is where I started. Ask questions, okay? And actually ask them with your own mouth. I mean, if I don't know how to press it even more, but step number one is ask questions and never not ask. If you have a question in your mind, write it down. Like I just told you that write your question in the chat box. So never not ask. If you have a question, go ahead and write it. If you are facing a teacher, because I've been a medical teacher, I know how discouraging and how disparaging we can be. And unfortunately, how extra discouraging and disparaging we are in Pakistan. We don't like questions because of maybe our own deficiency. Somebody's mic is on, so let me request you to mute your mic. I'm trying again. Okay, yes. All right. Thank you. So, see, the man who does not ask a question is a fool for life, and I think that is our entire profession in Pakistan right now. And I am very ruthless in describing our deficiencies, so please don't mind my critique and feedback. Okay, let me just move further. My system is stuck. All right. Don't take no for an answer. Remember that. Do not take no for an answer. हो सकता है आपको लोग ये कहें कि आप एक स्टूपिड सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, व्हाई आर यू आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन, हु टोल्ड यू टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन, देयर इज नो आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन, दिस क्वेश्चन इज इररेलेवेंट. डू नॉट टेक नो फॉर एन आंसर until
Assalamu alaikum, madam. Sorry to interrupt you for a second only.
जी जी
Because actually I shared your link to some people who may not be understanding other than English. So try to keep your discussion in English. I'm not sure how many people have joined from that group, but there may be some people from International Forum. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, thank you for the warning. So, like I was saying, that you are faced with teachers and sometimes you're faced with faculty who may not be very welcoming to your questions, but believe me, there are no stupid questions. This is, and what is written here actually is what one of my teachers told me. There are no stupid questions, Afshan, there are only stupid answers. So don't take no for an answer. If you are not satisfied with one answer, look for other sources, search for other sources. And I will teach you here in this session how to search for answers, because the world that we are living in is not the world that I was living in when I was your age. If you are a student, you're half my age. So, the world that I was living in was very different. We had to have live people telling us and giving us answers. Now, answers are only a click away. So, that is not an excuse to say that I didn't get an answer to my question, because you always do. And like I said, how do you get an answer to your question? Is reading. Read and reread and reread, and that is research. If I had, I can finish my lecture here. I can tell you so easily that this is it. This is research. Read. That was the first word that was revealed to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Iqra. Read. And it's the creation of the pen is something that is referred to in the Quran. This is such an important, because this is how we communicate. This is how we connect. And this is what we aspire to when we do research, that we are going to share the results of our search with the world. We are going to make the world a better place. We are going to leave the world a better place. So if nothing can replace reading. Once you ask a question and once you go out searching for the answers, the best answers will come to you from your own reading. There are many sources. I can show you doing a live search right now. I can, at the end of the session, I can sort of go through a dummy search and I'll show you how easy it is to find an answer to even the most difficult and the most impossible questions right on your PC, right on your phone. That is the world that we are living in. Now, in this world that is so full of information and that is so full of answers, what is it that we must never take for an answer? This is as important for medics as it is important for, I think, every educated mind and every curious mind. This is something that needs to be taught at the secondary school level. My opinions, or your opinions, or their opinions are not information. They are opinions. You know how we hear, when I was in this country, when I was training, in my good old days, such and such thing happened. That is not even education. That is somebody sharing their experience, somebody sharing their opinion. Or that I never gave such and such drug in dengue, or I'm in malaria, or whatever. I've had years of experience with such and such drug. These are opinions. And opinions can never replace evidence. In order to do research and in order to become a researcher, we know that step one is asking a question, and the whole process is then looking for that answer. What is the result of research? Why do we do research? And why do we, take so many pains? And why do we go through such agony to make sure that research is done ethically and that the data is original? That everything is done according to a protocol. Why? Because we are producing evidence. We are producing evidence for those who come after us or those who work with us. See what I mean? That is why a simple opinion and telling a story by the bedside does not make evidence. Evidence is evidence, and it only comes from genuine research. Now, as soon as you have a question and you have searched for the answer, and you may even find an answer, you may find 5, 6, 7, 10, maybe 1,000 references or similar questions online. What is the next step? Just as you are starting, you'll be surprised to know that as soon as step 3, the step is to start writing your ideas. Do not write, please. As soon as you think of a question, write that question. And then begin writing as soon as you have studied the first 5 references. Believe me, that is going to help you. That is going to land you into a tangible research project, into the process of preparing a project in less than 1 month. If you think of a question, search for the answer, and as soon as you have read maybe 5 related scripts, you begin writing. Begin writing in your own language. That is the next don't that is coming. Do not beg, borrow, and steal. The greatest enemy of truth is not a lie. The greatest enemy of truth is something that looks like the truth, that resembles the truth, that I copied from somewhere and now I am projecting it as my own truth. So, never this download syndrome that we are going through and this copy paste era of education, unfortunately, I mean, present day education is lying in its grave because of the copy paste syndrome and the storm that took everybody by surprise. It looked so easy and it looked so legitimate. And it's again, it was so difficult to track. And now we have softwares and we have engines and we have Turnitin and we have gadgets that tell us how much is copied and how much is original. So, right at the beginning, when you're beginning your journey of research, make sure that you are not copy pasting, that you are not downloading, and that you're always referring to the reference where you took the fact from. Okay? If you make a claim, if you say such and such thing happens 50% of the times, make sure you write where it's coming from. Now that you have a question, you have searched for the answer, you have maybe 5 references, and you have started writing. The next thing to do is to make a team. That is where the utility of groups like us, of groups like SPIRE, and groups like Dr. Hashmi has made, the Blooming Flowers, that is the utility of those groups. I may not have anybody physically here with me, but I am working with, I don't know, more than 20 teams at this time. I may not have seen 90% of them, but they're very good co-workers, they're very good colleagues, they're very good friends. And we are working towards the same goal, the same objective. So a team is someone who shares your vision. What your vision for your research and your work is, need to find like-minded people, okay? Because there are no problems that we cannot solve together. But there are very few that we can solve by ourselves. And believe me, even the very few, even deciding what to eat in the evening takes a family and takes some young members of the family. So, don't be a lone warrior. Isolation has never helped anyone. And once you have a team, it is natural that you look for a mentor. And I'm very happy to report that we have active mentorship going on both in the Blooming Flowers platform that we have and in the Spire platform. And both are almost becoming synonymous at this stage, at least as far as research is concerned. We have mentors in bioethics, we have mentors in statistics, we have mentors in manuscript writing that are available to you. If you are on the Spire platform, all of these are available to you. You just need to ask. Remember, never not ask. Okay. But what is the don't when it comes to mentorship? And this is my humble request to all of you. Please don't go to your mentor without preparation. Make sure that you have done your literature search, that you have started writing your narrative. And by narrative, I don't mean the narrative reviews that are, being published these days as research. What I mean is that you have started writing. You have joined the bandwagon of researchers by writing on your own subject, on your own topic. Okay? See, opportunity doesn't come automatically. You have to be awake and you have to be working in a plan and struggling towards it, and then you meet opportunity. Okay? It doesn't drop from the sky. If I tell you how young, when was my first research project that I did on a platelet aggregometer? I don't know how many of you have heard the name, but I was 18 years old. So that is when I started. And like I told you, most of you, if you're medical students, I'm the age of your mothers. And Alhamdulillah, that journey has brought me here. And I remembered never to not ask and always to write. And as you make a team and you get together with a mentor, inshallah, make sure to mind the ethics, to stay ethical, to stay clean, to know what is ethics, to know what are the main pillars of bioethics of research. This is not the platform where I teach you bioethics, and we have people who teach, by the way, but make sure that you have the permission of your institution, that the institutional board review has cleared you, that the ethical board review has cleared you, and especially if your work involves patients or tissue, that you have the appropriate bioethical clearances. And never bypass any required procedure or permission before beginning to work. Make sure this will come back to haunt you. So, as I am teaching you to do and not to do things as you're beginning your journey towards research, make sure that you don't bypass. There are no shortcuts to excellence. Remember that. Very briefly, you decide what you want to do right at the outset. This is the inverted pyramid of evidence. If you look at it, we have the meta-analyses and the randomized control trials, which are the top researches, where the clinical practice recommendations come from. Okay? At the top, we have case series or case reports when individual cases are reported. Then our cross-sectional studies, which are a cross-section of time where you're looking at a phenomenon and reporting it. Then once a phenomenon is reported, come the case control studies. How are they comparing? The phenomenon that I have noticed, is it true or is it by chance? And so on. Very briefly, I'm touching on this. Research methodology are separate sessions, but this is for your information that you have to decide right at the outset where you want to start. If I am your age and I say I want to publish a meta-analysis, I mean, it's not going to work. So I have to decide which level I'm working at and which level of scientific literature will I be contributing to. Never, ever manipulate the data. Having worked, I am working with 6 or 7 major databases at this point. And it is so hard. And it is so easy also. It is so hard to work with manipulated data, and it is so easy to see that data has been manipulated. Believe me, academicians are being fired from their tenure tracks and professorships because something somehow comes up in their data. So just as you're starting on your journey towards research, make sure that you realize the sanctity and the integrity of data that you are handling, because this is going to produce evidence for the future. And it better be very accurate and very, very well done. Now, as you move forward in your journey, make a timeline. This is something that SPIRE teaches all the time. This is a separate, excuse me, somebody's mic is on. Let me just turn it off again. Mute all, sorry. All right, I'm really sorry. I hope the system doesn't get stuck again. So, make a timeline. What is shown here is just an example. Make sure that you know what time, what part of the project will be finished. A project timeline is instrumental. Otherwise, those among us who are senior, who are listening here, we have drawers full of data that we never published. And we have, Excel sheets upon Excel sheets that never got published and probably are never going to see the light of the day because we did not stick to an outcome-oriented timeline. and absolutely never lose track of tasks and time. The entire team must have well-defined tasks. Those of you who are working with SPIRE know this, that the entire team um, is assigned tasks and then they are monitored. And then, of course, give each other feedback and critique. So it's very important that, you know, what not to do with feedback, and look for feedback, look for critique, and do not ignore any comments in the feedback. Absolutely not. Finally, stay motivated. See, this is the end of the session, and I'm going to ask you to join in again. I think we have 10 minutes left, but stay motivated. That is, you know, if one habit that will help you all your life is to do not give up. You just cannot beat a person who never gives up. So, and you know, you cannot stop a person who never gives up. So I'm going to go to the chat and I'm going to try to answer the questions that I have here. And then when we get disconnected, because I have 8 to 9 minutes here, when we get disconnected, I need you to re-log on for your question answer session. So I'm going to the chat right now. All right. And then I am looking at, there is a link to Dr. Hashmi's Google Drive, which is critical, which is very important, and make sure that you go through that. Medical students from all medical colleges in our group should take the lead and make sure that their senior and junior colleagues are all added. This is, I think, Dr. Hashmi writing. How to join the groups? Dr. Simi is asking. These groups are everywhere. Spire is everywhere. You can ask, well, I'm sorry, I'll post a link, okay, how to join these groups. And then it says no problem with the voice, check your mobile, then no voice, audio is going, somebody is saying no voice, I'm sorry, because voice was clear for me, even in the previous session. Okay, no audio. Everybody having audio issues? No, nobody. Okay. So, and now if there are any live questions, you guys can go ahead and unmute yourself. The session is on for another 40 minutes. Okay, so Dr. Hashmi is saying that he has sent a link to join the group, his group, the budding flowers that I referred to. Okay, then is how to choose a topic. Bache, this is entirely up to you. This is a question that I'm asked all the time. How to choose a topic? You know, go out tomorrow, wherever you are, look at a patient and see what makes you think, what makes you question, what makes you passionate. Do we have further sessions on research? Yeah, you have weekly sessions. This chat room is always open. How to manage time for research with hectic calls. Dr. Saab, research is an option. If you want to be a researcher, you will find time for it. If it is very hard, then maybe, 1% people become researchers. Only less than 1%, even that, 0.5. So managing time management is an art and is something that you need to learn with time. I do understand that call schedule during training is extremely hectic, but it is not impossible. Okay. Any more questions? I'm sorry, G?
कोई 100 मिलीग्राम के करीब वाला चाहिए तो उसका तो वो फायदा नहीं जो लेना चाह रहे हैं
Is this a question for me? Okay.
No, madam, I think this is problem with the anesthetists. They are always giving some anesthesia somewhere. So I
Okay.
think this
That's
gentleman
fine.
also busy giving anesthesia.
That's very, I was surprised. I was a little scared that somebody is asking me about a dosage. I don't know. I won't know the dosage. Anyway, so, अच्छा चलें ठीक है. How to do a good literature review? इसके ऊपर पूरा session है. There is a session uploaded on YouTube about, how to do a literature review. I will repeat the session if you want me to, but it is right there in the YouTube lectures. I think it's session 3. After selecting a topic, then we start reading about it, On internet, yes, absolutely. Read a book, read online, look at good references everywhere. We don't have proper guidance and mentors. बच्चे आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में नहीं हैं तो हम और डॉक्टर हाशमी बैठे हुए हैं. हम बहुत बेचैन हैं कि we become your mentors. So please do consider our request. And mentorship program is there in SPIRE as well as Blooming Flowers. Difference between research and case report. Pardeep Pache, the research, actually case report is a research, but case report, you are only reporting one case or 7 cases or 10 cases. But research is then once, maybe 100 cases come in. Then you look at differences and different trends in that. And that is research by itself. Okay, so then YouTube link, please. YouTube link is by Dr. Afshan. I'm afraid to leave this screen, otherwise I would have posted it. If Dr. Hashmi can post it. From where can we get complete guidance till publication? Noor Bache, from here, right from here. Stay attached to mentors like Dr. Hashmi, Dr. Afshan. We will be happy to help you till publication like we have. Please describe the text you sent today morning in the group, how to enroll into. I think you're talking about SPIRE. Yeah, SPIRE is a group. You can enroll into it. And I think Dr. Hashmi has sent a link already. So how to look for references. That is, again, I'm telling you, this is session 3 of Research 101 on Dr. Afshan's channel on YouTube. And I will try to send a link in SPIRE again today. How much statistics one should know for research? Learning SPSS basics? No. Learning SPSS basics will not suffice. First of all, you have to have the concept of statistics. SPSS by itself is a very poor tool if you don't know statistics. What are the principles of statistics? What test can be applied where? What type of a population do you need if you need to see such and such effect in your research? So make sure that you know the basis of statistics before you start learning SPSS. Dr. Khan, please make sure that you know this and you keep this in mind, that learning statistics is not learning SPSS, is learning the principles of statistics. Dr. Khalik, consultations will be free of charge. Yes, this is a free of charge session. Okay, let me see. We have only 2 minutes left. I'm going to rejoin the meeting room though. Only payment is that you thank you, Dr. Hashmi. बिल्कुल सही बात है. Only payment is that you ask questions and spread the message to others. Trust and have confidence in yourself. Alhamdulillah, inshallah. बिल्कुल सही बात है. अच्छा जी. So there's another message, new message, 2 new message. Ma'am, I know the basics. Can I be part? Yes, absolutely. If you are inspired, you're already a part. I keep advertising now enrolling, now enrolling. So look at those, whichever project interests you, go ahead and enroll. For research to be published, how many minimum entities? There's no limit, bache. Some journals will tell you that on an original article, there should be only 7 authors, but many journals do not have that limit. Okay. It's up to 7 to 11 authors is safe. Any other question? I think we've had a heavy attendance today. I've never had this heavy an attendance. And I am going to reopen the chat room after this is gone. So I'm right here for your questions, for your live interaction, and I can show you a live search, a live literature search if you re-log on, okay? I'm going to end this session now. Kindly share some of the journal, forum, publication, minimum, Sadia Khan. Let me just see this. I need to read. Kindly do share some journals, international for publication with minimum subscription. Okay. Okay, Sadia. I'm going to end it now and then rejoin right away. Okay.
Okay.